Crank it up. Only one spot in the grand finals from this matchup alone, and some team is going to be able to locate it. Will it be Beavercreek High School or Leyden High School? We start game one of the semifinals matchup right now.
More time to waste. 5 fresh minutes out on the clock. And a grand old best of 7. Win 4, you're in that grand final. And you got a chance to take home the victory, the trophy, and all of the great equipment that comes with it. For Solar and the rest of the crew, they were a team, as you mentioned, we got to watch them. Their passing plays are what they build up so much of their offense off of. But it's demolitions that are built up the other way. Both Griffin and It Can't Matter get one demo of their own.
Jonathan was such a dynamic player. Keep an eye on him all series long. And Simone as well was setting him up pretty frequently. Certainly settled in as a playmaker there. And Solar was with them last time. Had a great start there, but it will be a great start here from Leyden as they get the first one on the board off the hands of Griffin.
This is just huge. A nice little mid-range shot, and credit to It Can't Matter, who kind of just sat in the low ground. It's like, I'm just going to be an immovable object to sit in the flight path of my opponents. It works out for the goal. That's the first one. Now you've got to follow it up with even more. As we showcased in our last series, one goal is often not enough to hold on to the whole entire game advantage.
And we learn very quickly that Beavercreek can strike back-to-back pretty frequently as well, so we'll see if that sequence is done, but powering through here early. And man, oh man, it's going to be a good one. You can tell right off the bat because Leyden's got a quick answer.
I mean, Jonathan, you talk about the ability to play versatile. A fadeaway passing play. I mean, are you kidding me? Just wins the 1v3 straight up. And sends it off to the teammate to finish the job. So 2 quick goals. They're on either side of the field. Good news is, both teams, they've got their footing under them. Who's going to take the advantage after? I want to see Solar and the rest of the crew go back to that sky, go back to that offense that already scored them 1. They're low on boost here on the defensive side, and Solar doesn't cut back. It's on the goal line, but somehow saved away.
Such a very difficult, maneuver to get to that ball and make that save. So credit Solar in that awkward position there. Speaking of awkward, teammates tripping over one of each other, but Beavercreek able to clean it up here. We'll be able to get back to it as well. Jonathan, put this one off the ceiling. And Simone already gets that extra touch too. Yerkanu had to be tracking that one from the get-go and just able to make the save.
Defense now ever important. After those first 2 goals have come through, we've seen that not only today, but yesterday. It's that settle-in factor. How much can the team get ready to go? It can't matter. That's another good demo. Starting to rack up a huge pile of car parts already in that graveyard. As Griffin, Soitho, and crew enter into that corner zone. Even that double commit that sets it up for the solo play, and Jonathan heals away to the side wall.
That was a perfect decision to come across and get that challenge off. Yerkanu's can be challenged as well. So off the back wall, they are not able to get a touch. It can't matter. Will strike through the box. It'll be a 2-1 lead here for Beavercreek.
Lovely. I think for Solar, the touch is really tough. You have to try and make one, but it actually sends it backwards right into the favor of It Can't Matter, who was waiting perfectly there for that position. So you talk about score again here for Beavercreek. The team from Ohio is in the advantage.
Simone, we talked about their ability to create plays. We're going to need some of that. Look as the bum plays come out too. We saw a physical first series if you're just joining us. In the stream matchup that we just have between the number 4 and number 5 teams. Yerkanu has some space to work with. And Griffin maybe played a little bit too far forward. He's trying to read that touch, knowing the defender was going to get to it, but as a second man, you got to be able to read that one. Unfortunately, it wasn't his time. That one off the bow is a little bit closer than I thought it was going to be. It can't matter. We'll step up to it, though, and no harm done.
This little bounce-back save, and it's nice to delay the inevitable here of this scoring offense. Yerkanu, they want to stay on this offensive side. They've got boost for Yerkanu, has to dip out in their own right, but it don't matter. It can't matter. The shot off the backboard. How about 3? Griffin Soy still takes a man with that bump. Even though they can't find the goal, Jonathan can't stop it, and it's down and in.
What a read. We were talking about his 2 other teammates, but really, this is a step-up moment. Got the 100 boost. Didn't even need it, really. Just banked it off that crossbar. Instead of being complacent, just working backwards into rotation again, stuck with the play, able to get that read as well, which is well, easier said than done. And now with 3-1 advantage, Beavercreek from Ohio certainly showing up to play here in game number 1.
Got a 2-goal lead. They're definitely ready to go after that win in the previous first-round matchup. Of course, both these two teams had to take a best-of-7 victory. Beavercreek was a 4-0, while Leyden was a 4-1. But it was just a really good goal-scoring matchup in that last one for Beavercreek overall. They were a team that happened to score 24 goals to just the one of their opponents in Baker in those 4 games.
They've been finding one another quite well in tandem. There's another free play, but Canoe, unfortunately, the accuracy hasn't quite been there. They still have the 3-1 advantage regardless. It can't matter. Back up to it. Crossbar. The follow-up's good. Beavercreek is on a heater right now as they have the 4-1 advantage with 45 seconds left in game 1.
Confidence from Canoe. I really need some of that, because in the face of 2 defenders, just hits it, and off the backboard it connects for a passing play. It is 45 seconds left to go, and what we were talking at one point was a 1-1 game. Beavercreek have shot 10 shots, shooting and scoring 4 of them, and they continue to pile on this backboard for even more offense.
Leyden seems to be just trying to play the midline, you know, even when they're on defense and need to be rotating back. That's a good read, though. Solar able to get one back here, so don't book it just yet. 24 seconds left, and once more, you see Antimony, the one to really just cause problems. It seems to be that way constantly. You love to see Solar step up in the moment.
Solar's a player that we've talked about a lot to be kind of the glue in terms of the shooting, the follow-up third man that can really finish the job. But you need 2 more now. You need more than glue. You need gorillas to bust through the back line right now. With only 15 seconds to go, strength, offense, everything is going to be shut down here by Beavercreek, who sent it the other way, burned down all the time that's left to go. And Solar will look for one more cosmetic goal down low. And on the ground, Beavercreek, victors of game 1.
Yeah, they certainly came out a little bit quicker, and they sustained it through, more importantly, for the next 3 minutes or so. And from that heater that they went on, Leyden seemed like they were handcuffed. A lot of times they were just kind of at midfield waiting for a play to develop and come to them versus creating plays on their own, which is what we got to love about them last time we saw them, which was yesterday. And so, you know, a different day, maybe different mindset coming in here to the playoffs, but either way, would like to see them get back to that. The intentional passing that we saw yesterday was absolutely fantastic. Now, is this a bigger challenge in Beavercreek? Absolutely, but you have to be able to find those passes regardless and maybe be able to find that accuracy that we know and love. They're being opportunistic, but they need to do just a little bit more to create their own chances instead.
Just that extra bit of effort can change things, and the great news is it is a best-of-7, so you've got more time to try and establish that. We've been saying it so much already today, and there's only been one series we've seen today. This second game is so important. You need to reestablish yourself. For Leyden, you have the chance to battle back, turn this series into a familiar scenario of what was yesterday in those best-of-5s if you can take the victory. If not, you're giving a team like Beavercreek a chance to reestablish their offense to go up in the series 2-0, and that is a crew I would not want to give any sort of advantage. We'll have to see who wins it heading into game number 2.
2 underway. Trying to look to establish something. Leyden felt like they were cruising yesterday. The way they were able to go 3-0 in their groups, be able to really paint a picture of a team that won that state championship like we were talking about. They are certainly a deadly crew, or at least got to the finals. So they can be impactful, but that is a clever shot there from Canoe. Luckily, Solar was ready for it. Solar has been great here. Probably the best one for Leyden so far in this series so far.
Awesome to see Solar just go for so many chances. Solar was huge in that previous series. You talk about Leyden. They got a really tough first-round matchup. That Grand Forks Central crew that we got to watch yesterday was their opponent, Jonathan. The opponent on the goal line. Saves one, can't save the second. It can't matter. Strikes first blood.
Griffin got that touch originally, and although Jonathan thought they could pitch it over to, or just touch it over to Antimony, it just wasn't quite enough, and they weren't able to connect with it. So again, the the very fine-tuned touches, the tactical play that we've seen is just a little bit off. And they've been able to make it pay on the other end, but there's Jonathan right on cue, able to equalize.
Off the kickoff, it's the old Cardinal sin. Send 2 players to the kickoff, send 1 to the boost, and nobody's able to touch it, so it goes right on in your net. The best of the best is what it happens to. Now we're all back to tied up here. It gets a huge advantage to be in this position. We were in this position last game, and Beavercreek were just able to blow open the doors, bust back the books, and be able to solidify themselves as the Game 1 victor with just that incredible run.
Beavercreek continues to find each other extremely well, too. Their passing out of the zone has been great, but right when I say that, you see that another opportunity the other way. It just seems like every time I speak, it goes sideways, if you will. Beavercreek will get their second here to jump to the lead, and Griffin was a big part of that.
With nothing in the tank, you talk about a touch off the ceiling that is just incredibly tough to defend. Mostly because it's a 2v1. That player in the corner is never going to catch up to it, so it's all on the defender in the paint to try and pre-read that one. And Timony is going to go to the backboard trying to at least solve some of the problems. But that aerial offense has just been reserved to nothing. Credit towards this Beavercreek crew have challenged, have brought confidence, and continue to shoot on the board. That's their 6th, now 7th shot of the game.
Cam Matter thought he could sneak it in from that angle, and I thought he was going to be able to. And look at that touch, too. Wow, everybody on point. That shot gonna go just high. Cam Matter that close to being able to kind of run away with this one, at least give themselves a cushion. And this 2-1 lead that they've already established for themselves have had a majority of the opportunities since then also. And you see it a little bit uncharacteristic for Leyden, bunching up a little bit on the offensive side. Usually their rotations are on point. Usually they give themselves a lot of great spacing. And as you see once more, they're not able to get a touch there. And so that kind of pattern continues. I'd like to see them be able to clean it up. Luckily for them, it will be a best-of-7 series, so they'll have time to kind of talk it over once this game's over. But right now, a little bit not as coordinated as we've seen in the past.
Part of that is because Beavercreek has been ruining their plans every single time they want to try and go for those rotations. Just like this one, Griffin Sawyer reads it off the side wall, sets it forward, and Yurikanu is able to just knock that one into a solar defensive save. 0 boost on the defensive line, and Timony has to pass it away before it gets in that danger zone. 2 minutes left to go here, and it feels like Beavercreek should have scored more, and they will score more. Their 11th shot is good for the 3rd goal.
Things seeming to go right here for Leyden, unfortunately. Yurikanu just played that from center field, and Solar had a lot of trust in his teammates to be able to not only sustain the midfield, but be able to go to the opposite side of the field. That's why you saw him commit towards the upper left side of the box in an effort to kind of roll downfield. But unfortunately for him, the rest of the team was not ready for it. So yeah, another strike, another one, no! Solar, again, if it's not for Solar, this one might be a 5-1 advantage. Solar's been great defensively. A tiny bit of light in what has otherwise been a little bit of a dark start here for Leyden.
Got 7 saves as a team. Their defense has really been keeping them in it. For Beavercreek, though, you talk about Griffin, who's just been literally the playmaker. 3 assists on this game. It can't matter. Has 2 of those 3 goals. And they're just shooting so many shots, it's tough to block all of them. If you're a team that has that high percentage of involvement rate as a team, you're just going to be so good upfield. And Leyden need to try and find a goal here soon, as they're running out of time.
Push back down. I like that, not just playing it down the field to try to relieve a little bit of pressure. I get it. It's very difficult whenever, you know, it's been Beavercreek all over them from the start. Now an opportunity, but they can't get on that one either. That shot not taken. Bit of a whiff there, and that's not anything we've seen from Jonathan in the past. I think maybe just thinking about past mistakes might be haunting them here at this point. Yurikanu tries to get right back to work, punching it towards the box. Here, Jonathan waits for it. We'll just bank it off the corner to himself. Opportunity arises. Griffin able to get up just in time to make that save. Solar is still hanging in here, though, from the corner. And Solar maybe a little bit too much on that bench. It'll go all the way across, and Yurikanu just uses the momentum of the ball to swing it all the way back in to the Leyden zone.
single time they get that transition play, and just a chip touch or two, it's all it takes to burn down the time. It's already 15 seconds to go, and Jonathan would need to score on this drive right here, right now. And with the demo, with the waterfall down, it is all she wrote here for game number 2. The crew from Ohio, Beavercreek, going back-to-back games to start out this series as they drop a 15-shot game and move to the advantage in the series of a 2-0 fashion.
Yeah, it seems like Beavercreek has gotten into their heads, and it's hard to do that when it's like early in the series, right? It was game 1 where we started to see it affect them a little bit. And since then, it has been a very dominant performance here. It's tough to win games when you're giving up 15 shots, 8 alone from Yurakunu, who is dynamic on that offensive side of the ball. And it's not like it's a high percentage chance. As you can see, Beavercreek only put 3 on the board, so the percentage pretty low. But if you keep pestering them, the best way to, keep goals off the board from the other side is by just being able to weigh on as many shots as we saw from them. And we're getting a timeout here from the Leyden side, I believe. So that being said, you want to be able to talk things over. The first 2 games certainly haven't gone your way, so a little bit of extra time to figure it out.
Yeah, I think this timeout's smart. I mean, you've only got 2 more games to give. You've been playing close enough, it feels like, in these games to say you're competitive, but it's not enough to get yourself a victory quite yet, to push yourself over the edge. And it's kind of like you mentioned, this is not necessarily the team we saw yesterday with all those great rotations, all the follow-up touches as well. That's on the other side. Beavercreek are using every single opportunity forward to take another one, to take a step forward, to take every single shot possible. And I think Beavercreek are just playing with confidence. They're okay to go to the air. They're not scared. Even if they make a mistake, they know their teammates will have their back.
Yeah, it's 100% accurate there for sure. Well, this timeout brought to you by the LOS Portal, a recruiting site where you can search for over 600 colleges by what games they play, where they are, and what programs they offer, while colleges can subscribe to search for student prospects based on their competitive and academic performance. Twice a year, League OS identifies the top 100 high school esports prospects in its portal form from around the country and invites them to showcase their skills for college recruiters at Portal Combine events. You got to check them out. 1 in January and 1 in June. The first Portal Combine took place in Columbus, Ohio last January at the Ohio State University Esports Lab. And this summer, the Combine continues at St. Louis, Missouri on June 18th at Maryville University Esports Performance Center. We will see you there. Llama, I mean, there's just so much talent. We talked about these high schoolers, and as they look for that college level, a lot of these are going to be seniors coming up, so they're looking for a place to stay at the end of the day, not only for esports, but also to study at the end of the day, too.
Yeah, absolutely. And you talk about Maryville, just a great college, not only in the academics, but also just a futuristic esports program that has built up so many phenomenal teams. So to even get there in person, to experience the labs, to experience some of the players that are on the team, just that connection factor is absolutely life-changing. And it's awesome that these players get a chance, but also, I mean, you could get a chance right now, like you talked about with the portal. Get yourself an account and get yourself found here today, because you could have all the skill in the world, but if you're hiding in a ditch in Oklahoma, we're not going to know about you.
That's why you gotta open a new tab right now. Go to portal.leagueos.gg/start. Again, that is portal.leagueos.gg/start and get your start today. And speaking of starts, hot start, my goodness, Beavercreek has looked extremely strong. Talk about the competition you have in Esports Ohio, how it can make you a better team. Well, Beavercreek has been that great team. They've been to that championship in Esports Ohio a couple of times for sure, and they've certainly made their names because of it. So certainly stepping up in this national event that we've done and gotten to witness here at League OS.
Yeah, we got to see a couple of Ohio teams. Avon Lake was actually the first team we got to witness over from Ohio, now Beavercreek, and just goes to show that, yeah, Ohio is a great state. Got to cheer on my own state. But also, I mean, there's amazing programs all around the country, and iron truly sharpens iron. The only way you're going to get better is if you play better teams. And I know both these teams, it's the 2-3 seed matchup. They're focused on this one right now, but there's still kind of a looming storm over the day of Benjamin Franklin, who is the #1 seed, who just refuses to lose.
Yeah, 100%. And we got to see them yesterday as well, in addition to these two teams. And so we got to witness the top 3 seeds at the end of the day, and all of them have something about them that is unique. That, X-Sync, for example, has certainly been a player that's completely pesky and very difficult to deal with. I think Peacock, another one that's certainly all up in your business consistently. All 3 of them really are ones to look out for sure. But they got to get past that team that we seen a little bit earlier. You might recognize them from the last time around, that team from Michigan, Mason Bedford. They have their opportunity to try to get after this team. We'll give you updates as we know them as they come in as well, to see if they can't maybe get an upset before we get to the championship as well.
Absolutely, and I think it's, although they upset already, they're the 5 seed over the 4 seed, that gives you some great momentum. You already played, the number 1 seed did not. You're going to be feeling warm going into that series, and you're going to be feeling at the top of the world. So you've got to really carry that in, because as we said, that number 1 seed, they've been so clean and so good at not just winning, but winning in sweeps and making it a fast day for themselves. So I cannot wait to watch that one. Of course, we don't get to miss out on any of the semifinals with how our structure is going here today. Get to watch this 2-3 seed matchup, then get to move over towards that 1-5. And then, the grand finals, I might need a heart replacement after that.
100%. I wonder if Spoons can hold up to him on the Mason Bedford side, so I'm still very curious to see them go up against Benjamin Franklin for sure. Coop was a big part of that too, the third for that Benjamin Franklin team. But yeah, we'll get to see that. So if you want to see that matchup, like we mentioned, stay right here on this channel, of course. But we got more action on this one that we're watching right now. Beavercreek High School up 2-0 in this series. If you're just joining us, Leyden trying to get back to what they were able to showcase yesterday. That team play was very on point, and you want to be able to spark it up. Let's see if the timeout helped here as we get into game number 3 now.
This is the chance to turn everything around. And I think after the timeout, you immediately see a demo immediately. See Antimony fly to the sky and score 1 eye. It's Leyden who scores the first goal.
And that's what you wanted to see coming out of the timeout. You want to be able to get value from it right off the bat, right? You don't want it to kind of linger and be like, oh, was what we discussed actually going to work? So that physicality was probably part of the conversation, but to see it actually reap some benefits early, I think is really going to help Leyden get into this one.
Got that early goal. Now what more can they do? Is the bigger question I want to know. Because Beavercreek, they've showed response. They've been really comfortable in those 1-1 score lines to just blow open the lead. To say, sure, 1-1. Oh, did you say 5-1? Okay, that's the scoreline we wanted to win by. And Yurikanu has been making plays like that. It can't matter, the fadeaway shot off the backboard, and the third can't get there in time. It is again the defensive crew from Illinois that are able to hold the line.
Beavercreek has been, they haven't left their idea of boost stealing in the zone on the way out. It's been very difficult for Leyden for that reason, to try to escape their own zone. Sure, you can look for a pass, but if your teammates are out of boost, it has to be a perfect one, and it could be intercepted anyways because it's very difficult to get a lot of velocity on the ball. So either way, Leyden's got to be able to find ways to get to the boost pads first. Obviously, you can't get demos if you don't have boost either. As you can see, physicality has become a part of their gameplay too.
You got to control those resources. Make sure you're not only focused on your own game, but also what your opponents are doing, where they're targeting. Oh, that clank hurts right down to the bone, right down to the soul, as Griffin Soy's shot goes wide right. Yurikanu is able to make an incredible save, and this defense has had to step up already for Beavercreek. The 4 shots they've had are nice, but without the goals, they've got nothing to show for it on the scoreboard.
Yeah, it's Solar trying to step up and create even more. That 50-51 leaves it for Jonathan. Might get a double, a little bit too high on it, but Solar able to utilize a little bit of that smoke screen on the defender in order to slot that one top shelf with a great feed as well from Jonathan and the demo out in front.
It's massive. We were talking about the demos from Leyden on the other side, who had found that early start in towards the game. Then they find a demo here with 2 minutes off the clock. Their offense is not stopping. Whatever they talked about the timeout worked. Jonathan aims the scope and pulls off the team hat trick.
Another one, and it's just allowing your teammates and trusting them to be able to rotate and get a challenge to go, right? Solar, again, jumps in at the right time, and rather than sticking on that ball, which we've seen a couple of times from Leyden, double committing here. It's been a completely different feel. You'll love to see it. They're starting to trust one another. They're playing together. And now you see another one fall in slot. A 4-0 advantage. Certainly, they got him right back on track.
Doors are busted off at this point, and Timony is able to just slice and dice this one. Patience is an absolute virtue and has it in spades, has it in the heart there. Still 3 minutes, 180 seconds is a lot of time in Rocket League. But a great start, kickoff victory for Griffin Soy and the rest of the crew. It can't matter, has to go backwards.
The Eagles of Leyden certainly feeling a lot better, a lot stronger, a lot more confident. Really flying, but can't matter, is able to slot that one in far side. So great positioning, great spot that you choose, and then you hit the mark on the shot as well. Very clinical, looks simple. Not very simple when you're down 4-0 and you're kind of getting in your own head. Doesn't seem like Beavercreek doesn't bother him too much, as they still have plenty of time on this clock as well.
Come on. I mean, you've still got time enough to score 3 goals if you can score fast. That's the most important thing. You can't necessarily take all the time in the world on all those drives. When you look at the stats categories, I mean, it's 5-5 in shots. Beavercreek has stuck with them even though they haven't scored all the goals. They have forced mistakes like that. Another double commit on the back line. Then they follow it up with this passing play. Canoe over to It Can't Matter, who almost scores their second.
Griffin stays here. They're using the walls to their advantage. Up to the ceiling they'll go. Good fake there from Canoe, trying to just leave it down for Can't Matter. Gets the flip reset and try to advance forward from it. And now a demo will allow Griffin to get the shot. It's going to serve as a pass anyways. Canoe. No, the punch just went through, and look out. Here come Beavercreek.
2 goals in 30 seconds. Absolutely quick in the ricochet. That goal should have gone in, but either way, you have a teammate there to back you up. That's what's great about this team, is they just are prepared for the worst case scenario and put themselves in the best case scenario with those goals. Jonathan forces It Can't Matter for an awkward little backwards jump. It's nobody really in net. Canoe has to invest all of the boost to try and make that save.
Jonathan, great job to catch it midair. Place it on the front hood of your car and then able to dribble that one airborne. All the way back to the net, but it was tracked down by Beavercreek. Jonathan takes another shot. Can't Matter had to kind of chop at it in order to get it out. 1:30 left. They're holding Beavercreek at bay. They've gotten the last 2 goals, but they're doing a great job of trying to play on the opposite side of the ball, our Leyden High School. Jonathan will pair up with Solar for a touch to just try to get it out of the zone, but they'll give away possession here, as Canoe is really good at being able to stay with this one. Able they touch it away. There's Griffin. Goes to the middle of the field. Can't Matter does take a shot, but Jonathan able to make a big save again.
2 goals in 30 seconds. No goal in 1 minute, though, here, as the hold of the defense continues to put pressure on the crew from Ohio. And Timony has got the ball, has got the possession every second they hold. It's just another chance Beavercreek doesn't have. They don't have a lot of boost either. If they score again here from the Leyden side, it could just be game over. But they've got to manage their own defensive side, as Beavercreek is not going to walk quietly into the 9s.
I like the idea of being patient there by Jonathan, but it was a little bit risky, as that allowed them to kind of step into the place and try to get another one. And guess what? Timony able to get this one as well. A 5-2 lead, so that should secure a win here for them. The timeout ultimately successful, and not only that, but they were able to get potentially the last goal in here one as well.
Jonathan, huge little bit of setup. You talked about the versatility as a player. 24 seconds, I mean, some kickoff goals, but Jonathan is able to immediately win that. Just setting up with the boost, setting up into the offensive side, and Solar just slots one between 2 defenders and makes the lead 4.
It's 4 in a row to start it off here for Leyden in game number 3. Beavercreek got the next 2, and Leyden did the same. So a lot of back and forth streaky play from both of these teams. But at the end of the day, Leyden, whether or not they were perfect for 5 minutes or not, they were able to get out with a big win, sizable win. And if you're going to have an answer here, down 2-0 in a series in a best of 7, why not answer back with a punch, a haymaker, which is what we got to see here right out of the gate, and they continued it to the late ends of this one. So game number 3 will go into the hands of Leyden High School, as they will cut the lead in the series in half here and get their first win on the board, a very big step in their process.
as you mentioned, I think everything that they talked about in that timeout just immediately brought into the field. Sometimes when you actually talk in the timeout, you're saying things that don't resonate with the players, that don't actually bring the game plan back. And they went exactly to the team we saw yesterday, to the demolition heavy, to the high-flying, huge scoring, bursting team. They found their identity, but you only have that timeout to work with that's gone in the past. So now you need to move this to the next game, go into game 4 and say, okay, we beat you then, we can still play our game plan. And Beavercreek is the exact opposite. They were playing a little bit slower, forced into that defensive side. Very unlike them. They now have to find their identity back again.
Great, but the thing is, we saw like little snippets of that in that game, I believe. You know, Beavercreek with those back-to-back goals, they were in full control. And it all started with boost control too. I think, you know, them being able to get in, steal that boost, and make it difficult for Leyden was certainly a problem earlier, like in game 1 and 2 when they were able to take that win. So I would like to see Leyden get right back out there and find a little bit of that momentum, but I don't think Beavercreek's going anywhere. 6-2 or not, I think they come out to this next game. I want to say that I've seen enough from Leyden to really say that they're going to make a splash here for the rest of the series, and I do want to see it, but I'm just not convinced. I think Beavercreek certainly can come back out here just as easily and put up a big game of their own.
I mean, you're still up in the series. I think that's the nice thing about going into the opposing team's timeout. Even if you drop that game like you did, you're still up in the series. You still got another game to give, even if you lose this one. And if you don't, you're on series point. You're right back on track for Solar and the rest of the crew. It's off the post, and it's going to be, it can't matter, denying the secondary attempt. Heartbreaking first attempt to be denied.
You can't really blame them, though, because the third man back was the one that was responsible for stepping up in that moment to try to punch that one in. But you never want to leave yourself exposed on the backside either way, so it's kind of hard to read and get yourself positioned well and up forward enough in order to get that challenge. But that one's going to be wide open, so Beavercreek will take that one. An early lead drawing first blood with a wide open net.
And it's Griffin. I think it's incredible to see them on the spearhead end rather than the spear pole end. Instead of on that passing end, they're on the scoring end this time. A very quick goal, a very quick response, and Beavercreek scoring now 50% of their shots. I know with a small sample size of 2 shots is a little bit easier to say, but also just a great early rope into the series.
It certainly is. Now it's at the Leyden to respond. They were able to do so in that last game. You mentioned it best. They weren't able to take a timeout, so adjustments will need to come essentially on the fly. You still get that minute in between games to talk things over. For Beavercreek, I think that was important for them as well. To get this first goal, make it a second one? No, off the post, and Griffin couldn't get up to finish that one either. Otherwise, it would have been a 2-0 lead, and I would have been absolutely doubling down on my statement there. I think Beavercreek has come out with a mission to figure out what happened last time. I think they made the appropriate adjustments to get right back into control.
In the driver's seat, they've got the hand on the wheel, and they are absolutely ready to roar to a series point. With the demolitions as well, I think they're just throwing off those rotations, getting back to the game plan, knowing that they can't allow Solar and Jonathan back to the air. It's a bar down shot that just scores. Solar ties us back up.
And maybe Beavercreek got a little bit too focused on demos, coming out in front trying to create space, but what happened was you left the back door wide open. And you're able to just kind of strike through and into it. Beavercreek, after that 1-0 lead, Leyden able to get back. Solar the one to do it. Now off the kickoff right on cue, will march down into the zone of Beavercreek to steal their boost. Try to make it difficult for them, but the waterfall down will fall right to a member of the team that was waiting on that back wall. So is Jonathan on the opponent's back wall, was maybe looking for that feed. You always love that as a Rocket League player, whenever you're able to kind of park yourself on the back wall and wait for a pass.
Just play the Spider-Man factor. Put up the webs, look for the sling in, and try and score as well. Save the city from destruction. In this case, save your team from a game loss. Griffin's just got an open shot. There's nobody back. All of a sudden, it's Beavercreek that yoink, going back to their side.
Solar was just dunked on this one. A good read there from Yurikanu to realize what Solar was looking to do, because Jonathan was on the other side waiting for a pass. So you can read that, get a step ahead, and be able to get that touch that went across, and Griffin with a great recognition to turn on that one and get a shot off. And speaking of shots, they are not ending at all. Beavercreek right back at it.
Why shouldn't they? I mean, their offense has been just so deadly when they take those shots. Talk about deadly. Jonathan does not care about your defense. We're back to tied.
get caught by surprise, and another great lofted pass, realizing the defense wasn't there from Antimony. And a great passing was the name and identity of Leyden High School yesterday and has been for a very long time. We're seeing a sneak peek of it once more here.
Brings us back to the stalemate. Jonathan, hold that thought. It's Yerkanu that is forced to make the save. Griffin Soy so good about turning it upfield, forcing that backboard. Yerkanu makes the best of a bad scenario, and Beavercreek says no, that lead is ours.
Back and forth tug of war type of game is one that I encourage and we get to see and witness here. Love to see it, Llama. It's now 3-2 lead. Beavercreek looking to march up to match point. But the way this game has been going, it's been a bit of a barn burner. I don't expect this one to end anywhere near where we're at right now. Giants tries to punch it off the back wall for Antimony, but he wisely stays back with a tripping over one another. There's Griffin causing chaos on the back line. Was able to just kind of park his car below the defender and threw him off.
And that single bump, it causes the goal, but Yerkanu has just been so solid. I mean, it feels like right place, right time, but it realistically is Rocket League mindset and skill to be in the correct position, not too far forward, not too far back. Maybe off the demo, Jonathan can try and be in that right place, but Yerkanu is everywhere. Another backboard touch.
Griffin gonna play this one off corner, looking for it can't matter, but read by Solar. Can't matter, left that loosely up in the air though. This will have Solar an opportunity to get that touch and almost got it. Would have been a difficult raid. It certainly was a difficult raid. So he can't hold him to trying to make that touch. If he would have been, it certainly would have been a hero move here as they need a pretty quick one with a minute 43 left. Solar eyeballing Antimony. This touch gonna go off the corner. This one should find its way back to Jonathan, but it was a little bit too hot to handle as that shot went off the left side of his car.
As you defend that, it feels like for Antimony, again, no real boost to play with. The resource management, this is a game number 4 dominance, it feels like, that Beavercreek have just gone back to the resource stealing. They're out shooting their opponents 10-6 overall, and Yerkanu is just on an MVP performance. That's a hat trick. That is everything going their way.
Yeah, Griffin. Even saw him, you can kind of have a sixth sense whenever you play with teammates enough over the course of the season and you found success in getting to each other's heads, just banked it off the sidewall knowing that Yerkanu was there. Might have even seen him in the peripherals, depending on if he had ball cam on or not. Couldn't tell from that angle, but either way, able to find a teammate and just cause even more chaos. So adding the cushion, if you will, for Beavercreek High School, who, although they dropped the last one by a big fashion, it was 6-2 against. Leyden certainly packed a punch. They were able to punch one directly back with the counterattack of an entire game here with the 5-2 advantage under a minute left.
And this game means more, as we talked about, for Beavercreek. If the scoreline stands, all of a sudden you've got 3 chances to try and close out the series, 3 chances to aim yourself to the grand finals, a best-of-7 series. For Solar and crew, it needs to be now. A goal every 10 seconds with minimal boost. This is the best scenario you're gonna get. It can't matter clearing. A double commit back. They've gotta go. Intimidate, bar down and out. Misses the shot by an inch.
Sometimes, games will just feel like that. You have that opportunity, but you can't quite find it. And there's nothing you can do but just kind of shake your head and try to shake it off because you'll have more opportunities. But this game will not be theirs. It'll be Beavercreek's instead as they win and march to match point. Like we mentioned, 3-1 advantage here in the series. They have been electric already. They've found a way to get into Leyden's heads and create a whole different identity of their own. Beavercreek High School to match point.
And it's off the back of just an incredible MVP performance of Yerkanu. 6 shots, 3 of them scoring, 3 saves, and an assist. Involved on 4 out of the 5 goals from Beavercreek, and just started so early. I think that mental shift, when you talk about the timeout from Leyden, they were able to, bring their game plan back to the surface. Immediately, it felt like Beavercreek were saying in that 30 seconds between the 2 games, we got to play our game. And Yerkanu said, I'm going to lead that off. I'm going to start the offense, and I will ignite this flame that will start a forest fire, allowing this offense to burn.
Forest fire has burned Leyden, who unfortunately for Franklin Park, Illinois, they were very, very excited for the course of one game. So credit Beavercreek High School, the way they've been able to perform and basically suck the life and energy and basically enjoyment out of anything that Leyden's been able to do and accomplish in this series. I mean, Leyden is a tough team to do that to, but they have gotten in their heads, and it has been difficult for Leyden. Luckily for Leyden, that's why we play best of sevens here in the playoffs at LOS. So we want to see them continue to build back, and they certainly have an opportunity to do so. The percentages of winning and coming back from a 3-1 deficit, not very good, but this team is good enough to get the job done. We saw it just yesterday.
You gotta not think about the percentages of winning 3 games in a row. Just think about the percentages of winning 1 game in a row. It's always 50-50. You either win or you lose. It's all right in front of you here. And we'll see if Leyden can do it. I think Antimony has got to step up a little bit more, not only with just the shots, but the setup. When Antimony is leading off as that first man, and we see Jonathan with those incredible follow-ups, that give and go is what really juices up their offense. Jonathan already starting with a couple skyward wins.
Thank you. Antimony with that touch will set up Solar. They still crash in the box. It lays loose up in the air. Finally, Jonathan, the first one to get to it, will punch it back to the back wall. Griffin Soy will hang strong. Solar tries to bank it off the back wall yet again. But the pattern was recognized by Cam Matarin. Find Griffin, who will direct it forward with that extra touch. Very difficult one to get, but was able to get it nonetheless. And try to bind and sustain a little bit of offensive time, but Leyden making it difficult here with a couple of touches of their own. But a bit clear, and Hurricane will look to chase and does a great job to get up in a quick manner to keep it here in the corner. This one, although a miss from Antimony, found its way to Solar. It will play back out to midfield, where Jonathan's waiting for it. We'll try to play back down. Hurricane ready for it as well, and both teams playing good back and forth by Hurricane with great patience, and eventually will punch through.
It's whoever can control this back and forth better. And you see every single time it comes back to the Beavercreek side, they get it a little bit forward. They jump the offense just a little bit of an extra inch. And that is the first shot, by the way, of Beavercreek in this entire game. It took them 1 minute and 15 seconds. Does it matter? No. It's the goal lead and the chance to possibly close out this series.
Clean double touch there from Solar. Instead of Jonathan, Antimony. A 1-2-3, tic-tac-toe. And Leyden's tied it.
It can't matter, I think, is just a really tough job. Ask them to try and decide, okay, you either want to send it back to an opponent or do you want to send it back to an opponent? The choice is yours, and, well, it chooses to send it to an opponent. Of course, they score off it with a great little passing play. Passing for Leyden here, they need to just recoup and be able to take over that lead.
From back wall, Jonathan waiting for it. Now we'll see the rest of his team kind of rotate back in tandem, knowing that he's got that opportunity, but right out of boost in the process. Antimony plays it to himself, but that one can be read by Hurricane, and now we'll advance forward for it. Challenges Solar and gets a demo in the way in. And now it can't matter, we'll just wait for this one as it goes all the way up to the ceiling. And Solar with that next touch, but a good job to direct it back to a teammate from Griffin. This one, Hurricane takes a shot, but it's read well. Now Hurricane, another chance, will go wide. Griffin Soy from his third man position. Now it can't matter, will turn. The great rotations will strike through. Relentless pressure from Beavercreek.
Just insanity off this side wall as well. Griffin does so much. Uncredited with an assist, but gets a bump. Gets the setup just in case the shot doesn't miss. And Beavercreek, it is a controlling game. This is unlike the other 4 games it's felt like in this series. It's a lot lower scoring. It's a lot more controlled. But boy, Beavercreek can play this style to perfection. Another good shot rings out.
Beavercreek plays so well in the air. It reminds me of the Dayton Flyers, as Beavercreek from Dayton, Ohio, appropriately enough. They've been very stellar when it comes to being able to make reads, be able to get those double touches that they need in order to advance forward and get past the great positioning that we see from Leyden as well. I mean, they have been able to maneuver past a team that certainly is polished, to say the very least, making it look relatively easy as well. Jonathan had to be very careful with that touch. Going off his own back wall, was able to do so. and mitigate some of the pressure that has been sustained from Beavercreek, but they're still on it now. Opportunity, and now a double commit there that's just trying to desperately get that touch, but luckily for them, Canoe for once was not accurate on the shot.
Maybe this time, though, one-for-one save. It is just a demo gathered on top of it. Unrelenting. The post denies another. Can the fourth man stop it again? It's the actual defense that recoups, but Canoe is back for seconds, thirds, and even fourths as nobody can get the clear out. Intimity has the most boost and commits to the corner. Another full pad regained. That is huge from Jonathan to get that clear, and they'll get it downfield with force.
Another raid here. Canoe right back to it, tries to get the shot up as well. This is clinical how you play with the lead. You don't want to let off the gas pedal. You don't want to play on your back foot, on your heels, just to try to stay alive in a game. You want to be able to take it by force. And the fact that Beavercreek continues their quick rotations, smart plays, and smart challenges is a great sign for Beavercreek with a minute left.
It'd only be a one-goal lead, but this one-goal lead could carry them to the grand finals, could solidify their position as one of the best two teams in this tournament bracket. For it can't matter, and the rest of the crew, all they've got to do is hold this onslaught, hold the shots, and they'll score again. Griffin Soy with possibly the dagger.
Yeah, when I saw Canoe there in the corner and didn't get that quick hop to get over to the ball and get that touch, forget about it. You struck into it, one to beat, and you were already in their phase. Intimity might be quick, might be speedy, might be aware of the racing league that I've put together, but they weren't able to get it. But hold that thought, Leyden still back within one.
Jonathan finds it, and I think this kickoff was incredible. Jonathan not only goes and grabs the boost, but turns upfield, shoots the shot, and shoots accurately there to find some space on the left side. It is under 40 seconds, but it's back to that one-goal lead. It's something we cannot escape here in the series. Unfortunately for Leyden, they've only got 3 shots across this entire game. They need more, and they need them now.
Pop-up pie. You have to be careful with this one. Solar couldn't get to it, but Jonathan was the Johnny on the spot, if you will, to get to the next one. But Griffin still banks it off the corner. A big clear to kill even more time off of this clock, as now it'll punch back down. Canoe trying to get to it. Nothing doing. Down to 10 seconds left as Jonathan tries to push forward. We'll be able to get one more touch. They need this last push to work. But it's Griffin Soy able to get to it, but Intimity will keep it alive. Extra touch down to the ground, and Beavercreek have punched their ticket to the finals.
The only game they dropped is a game after their opponent's timeout. And you talk about now over the course of 2 best-of-7s from the start of the day until now, the team from Ohio in Beavercreek has only dropped a single game. A 4-0 start, a 4-1 second series, and you said it, a chance in the grand finals to go on to win it all.
Oh, man. I mean, that was just a all-together effort there. Certainly did not get discouraged whenever Leyden was able to put up a 6-2 performance against them. They dove right back out, was able to give them a little bit of a taste of that Beavercreek offensive onslaught that we saw in day 1 continue into day number 2 as well. And so credit to Leyden for getting this far and putting up an absolute challenge there towards the end. Both of these teams certainly deserved being able to punch their ticket to the semifinals. Only one can get through at the end of the day, and it was Beavercreek.
And for Leyden on the other side, I mean, you talk about just an incredible journey. A team that, like we said, even to make it towards Friday was an incredible feat, but to make it towards Saturday, to be one of those top 8 teams, should definitely hold their heads high. Of course, if you guys want to be a player that maybe gets shown in one of these national tournaments, make sure you're getting involved in the League OS portal. Get yourself involved, get yourself a college to find where you want to study and where you want to go. But we've got another semifinal to watch, another best-of-7, but we've got to wait just a little bit longer. We're going to head to a short break on the other side of it. Semifinal number 2. Don't go anywhere.